So you've been making loops for a while, but you're not really improving. You just basically hit a plateau, but you don't really know where to go next and how to actually get better. You're just making loops, but you're not actually improving. So this video is for you. Point number one is to actually do some ear training, which is something that I've been neglecting for years. Over the last few weeks, I've been doing it, and it has improved my melodies a lot, tenfold. Seriously, but the reason I've been neglecting it is actually because I've been doing it all wrong. I've been doing it the way they teach it at school or on all of the apps. You know, I've tried a bunch of apps on the App Store. They don't work, at least not for me, but the way they do it is they play like an interval, so 2 notes, and you have to tell what the interval is. It didn't work for me because it's so abstract. It's not musical at all. So the way that I do it now is that I just jam along to my favorite songs or favorite samples, just jam along and trying to find out, you know, like melodies, or trying to maybe kind of incorporate some cause and response, you know, just trying to respond to a melody that is already within the song, or just jam along, create your own melodies, but you know, melodies that kind of fit. And from there you want to be able to tell the root notes, and once you've got the root notes, you want to be able to tell, is it major or minor chord, what inversion is being played, or is it a major 7 chord, a minor 7 chord, a suspended chord. But it takes a while, and personally I'm not there yet. Just playing along, jamming along, being able to tell, is it minor or major, has improved my music a lot. And the next point kind of ties into the first one, which is to actually learn an instrument. So I would recommend to pick up an instrument like the guitar or piano. These are probably the most useful instruments, but if you play the saxophone, you know, just go with it. But just being able to play an instrument just helps you be a lot more musical, and it also is a lot more fun to actually create music instead of just clicking in notes. I kind of got tired of it, so now I really try to avoid all VSTs. Next one is kind of controversial. You might have seen a lot of videos on YouTube of people making 15 beats in 2 minutes. In my opinion, it might be useful if you're in the studio and you just want to make music real quick. But if you actually want to improve, I don't feel like making a lot of melodies within such a short amount of time is actually going to improve. Because if you can make a melody within 2 minutes, basically means that you've done that melody before, and that you know exactly what it needs, and that you know exactly what to do. So you're not improving. It's just a habit that you're doing. And this is why you're able to do it so fast. It's like going to the gym. If you always lift the same amount of weight, you might be able to do it super quick and get a lot of reps in, but it's more about endurance at that point, instead of actually, you know, getting stronger and lifting a heavier weight. And the reason why I mentioned that is also because you actually want to be in a flow state, because within a flow state you actually improve the most. So the way you get into a flow state is that you kind of do something which is challenging, but not too challenging, but also not too easy. So you want to find a middle ground between it being challenging and it being too easy. So when you spend more time on your melodies trying to figure out details, or when you experiment with sounds, with new sounds, and you don't really know where to go next because you've never done it before, that's actually where you improve the most. Right, so the next one, everyone talks about it, so I'm just gonna keep it brief, and it's consistency. You want to make it a daily habit. I would recommend setting a fixed amount of samples that you want to make a day, and do it every day, and try not to break a streak. And if you do, which you shouldn't, but if you do, try to not make it a habit. So if you break it once, you want to get back to it the next day, the following day. You never want to break your streak more than once. And the last point ties into the previous one, and it's knowing when to stop. So you want to set yourself a minimum amount of melodies. And once you've done your minimum amount of melodies, you want to go out and refresh and step outside. Don't look at any screens. The reason you want to do that is because, like I said, you want to be consistent, and if you want to be consistent, you can't burn out. So you basically have to be able to do it for the next 50 years or 60 years, 70 years, 80 years. And if you want to be able to do it for that extended amount of time, you need to know when to stop.